You're listening to the Visionary Lifestyle Podcast, the show that's dedicated to raising consciousness and empowering you to activate your highest potential. I'm your host, Magda Freedom Rod. Greetings, Rainbow Warriors. This is the last show that I'm publishing from India. As this episode is going live, I'll be leaving a deeply transformative month in Rishikesh, which ends my 3 months in India, and I'm traveling to Bali. My heart is really heavy leaving India. The time spent here is a true deep dive into one's soul, and even 3 months seem to pass in the blink of an eye. Walking through Rishikesh feels like an alternate reality. Mantras and incense are literally wafting through the air everywhere I go. Cows are everywhere, the river is flowing, the streets are full of saddus and spiritual seekers from around the world, and the air is rich in spiritual depth and transformation. Sitting with the powerful River Ganga this evening for my last sunset, contemplating my time here in the Motherland, the biggest thought that pervades my head and heart is, thank you. I feel so blessed to be spending this time here, and then to have this outlet to share it with you. So much soul growth, so much heart connection, so much learning, so much beauty. India has my heart. I finished an 8-day panchakarma cleansing treatment here yesterday, and I'm happy to report that my body and mind feel so light after this deep cellular detox. Today I interviewed my Ayurvedic doctor, Dr. Moria, who I published an episode with last year about the panchakarma process this time, so watch out for that interview coming up in a future season. This is something I highly recommend to everyone, and I'll be making it a part of my annual trip to India, which happens to coincide with my birthday. So what better way to honor and celebrate myself every year than this, right? So this evening, as I was preparing to record this intro, a review came in on Facebook and inspired me to share it here. Tribe, your reviews really warm my heart and give me the inspiration to keep the show going, so keep them coming. It's midnight here in my hotel room in Rishikesh, and I'm waking up early to travel tomorrow, so receiving some words of encouragement at a time like this really gives me a boost to keep working into the night to get this show out to you before I travel. Sarah says, I can't stop listening and catching up on all the episodes. So interesting, so enriching and juicy. In deep gratitude to Magda and everyone who supports this podcast. Aw, thank you so much, Sarah, for listening and for taking the time to share your review. It means so much to me. I'm grateful to you too. Is this a love fest or what, you guys? And for one quick announcement, if you've been thinking about joining my Conscious Eating 101 e-course, now is the time to do it. If you're following my Visionary Yoga and Lifestyle Facebook page, you may know that I'm offering it up at 70% off until the end of March to support you in a fresh start for this spring season. Equinox and spring is the very best time of the year for you to upgrade and recommit to your body temple and make better food choices. It's a spring cleaning of your body, you guys. Remember, yoga starts in the kitchen, and it's really my honor to support you in that. So check out consciouseating101.com if that calls you. So now, on to today's show. The timing of this interview seems really fitting as our guest today shares how her trip to India changed the course of her life. Our guest today is Nadia Moon. Nadia Moon is a 500-hour certified yoga teacher, a dream catcher, a traveler, and a yoga holiday organizer. After a few years working in London as an international marketing executive, she decided to quit it all and catch her dreams, share her love, follow her intentions, and happiness. Her intention and mission for this lifetime is to inspire and empower others to follow their dreams, to improve their lifestyle, to laugh more, to stretch more, to dance more, to be more present, and to accept and let go. She believes in the power of letting go through yoga, meditation, dancing, chanting, and in the freedom of mind and body. We met at a beautiful yoga and detox resort on the island of Koh Phangan in Thailand, known as the Sanctuary. I attended a couple of her classes, one on pranayama with chakras and the other in yoga nidra. I really enjoyed her teaching style and her energy in general and loved getting to know her better in this interview. Her story is one that may inspire you to reconsider your life and allow yoga to become a bigger part of it. We talked a lot about yoga, India. She touched on her experience at a Vipassana meditation retreat, and we discussed her yogi diet. She explained what Yoga Nidra is and shared a lot of inspiration. So don't forget to check out the show notes on iTunes or on my website, visionary-lifestyle.com, to find out more about Nadia. She teaches in Thailand and offers retreats in Italy, so make sure to check out her website for more info. I really hope this conversation inspires you to go deeper with your yoga practice. Enjoy and namaste. Welcome to the show, Nadia Moon.
Namaste, welcome, thank you.
Namaste. Yes, see, this is how you can tell that you've spent time in India, because
Yes,
it's a namaste for hello, which I've said on the show is one of my biggest, most heart-expanding impressions of India was being in a culture where every hello is a namaste.
Yeah, do you know the meaning of namaste?
Yes, but why don't you tell us in your words?
Yeah, more than a hello, namaste means I honor the divine within you. So I see you as a divine being,
right.
And I honor that, I salute that.
Yes, yes, exactly. The light in me acknowledges and honors the light in you, right? So, but when I say every hello is a namaste, I mean that's just the common greeting in India, which is so incredible that everybody's walking around acknowledging each other as a divine being all day long, everywhere you go, and the hands coming together in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. And I noticed even if somebody's carrying something in their hands, or in one hand, the other hand will go to the heart. I mean,
true.
Amazing, this culture, right? So you've spent a fair amount of time in India, and you teach there every year, right? Some months every year. How's your experience in India? What draws you there?
What draws me to India? That's a good question. I'm not sure why exactly I went the first time to India. Something was calling me, and I realized that just once I was there. So the first time I went to India, at the time I was still working in London. My previous life job was marketing, so I was international marketing for this English company, and it was a very busy job. One of those jobs where you also have a good salary, you have a good position, and according to the society rules, there is no reason to quit it. You know, you have a good job, good money, so why quit it? But so I was so stressed at work at that time that I decided, okay, I need a relaxing holiday. I'm going for a relaxing holiday alone, and I wasn't sure where to go. I was in between India and Bali, and then I just decided to go to India, not for specific reasons. And I went to this little yoga holiday retreat.
Were you doing yoga, practicing yoga already at this point?
Yes, I started practicing yoga in London, but at the time was more like a physical reason, you know, to keep my body fit.
The fitness, yeah.
Yes, more like a fitness. Also to be able to live a London lifestyle, which is a very busy and, you know, is a sort of place where you gotta get up and do something. So yeah, I was doing yoga as a fitness reason. So I decided, and I was enjoying it a lot, so I decided to go for a relaxing holiday to India. I went for probably 12 days, not much, only stayed in this little ashram in the south of India. And that was the first time that I did meditation with an Indian teacher, and I also did yoga on a more spiritual level. So that holiday changed my life. I came back to London after 12 days. So in peace and zen, came back to my office, staring at my laptop. Looking at the laptop, I was like, what the hell am I doing? 8 hours a day in front of a laptop when I could actually see what else is out there and what else is within me.
Beautiful. An major expansion happened for you there.
Yes.
You got
totally.
introduced to yoga beyond the fitness, beyond the mat, yeah?
True, yeah. And I was lucky because I landed, I don't know how, because nobody suggested me to go there. I landed in this beautiful little ashram with no external distraction. You know, it was such a small beach, only this yoga retreat on there, no music, no alcohol, no, just yoga, pure flow. And that totally changed. So I went back to London, and there were one thing that I realized, it was just so clear. I have to do yoga all my life.
Wow. It got you there, yeah. What a transformation, how beautiful.
Yeah, and then everything started to fall into place. I experienced a few months of pain, like mentally and physically, because my body was getting loud, like I was not able to enjoy my London life anymore. Like I was, even the noise of the tube was really annoying me, and the really frenetic routine, and I had to quit my job.
And so to make yoga your life, did you decide then that you wanted to pursue being a teacher, or?
No, I wasn't, that was not my intention. I didn't want to become a teacher in the first place. I mean, I was not even saying, no, that's not going to happen. It's just my intention was to deepening this knowledge, to going deep into this knowledge that was still unknown for me. So my idea was to take a few months break from work
and explore
and just see what else the universe can offer me if I open the doors to the unknown. And it was quite hard at the time to take this decision because, you know, I had kind of the perfect life in terms of what society wants you to be. So I had a good job, I had good money, I had a good house, I had a boyfriend, I was living you know, in London, which was one of the best cities in Europe according to the standard societies. But there was something within me that made me unhappy and uneasy with this life. And I didn't know what it was until I stepped out, went to India, I tried meditation, and started look within. And then I came back and said, oh, okay, that's clear. That's why I don't belong to that.
That's not what I'm here for, right?
Yeah. And then I wanted to quit straight away when I had this realization, but it wasn't easy because I just got a promotion at work at the time, and to be able to quit the job, like the contract changed to 3 months notice, so I had to you know, take some time. But that was actually a good time, so that I knew where to go and which direction to take.
So what year was this?
It was 4 years ago.
Okay, so and in that time you've done quite a bit of education. You're now a very educated yoga instructor here at Sanctuary in Thailand.
Yes.
And your life has transformed a lot, it sounds like, in a very short time, really, relatively. So I'm really appreciating the depth of your knowledge and your training. It's clear to me from my perspective in meeting you and, you know, going to your workshop the other day and being around you for these last days, that this is your path. This is very natural for you. Like you have found your path in life, and it's beautiful to witness you. And I feel your authenticity and your sincerity, and I appreciate the depth of your knowledge and your wisdom that you're sharing. You're welcome. One of my goals with the show is to help people expand their understanding and their knowledge of what true yoga is. So I always, you know, before I interview somebody, I always want to check out one of their classes or, you know, something to get a feel for their vibration, but also to figure out what they're sharing. And I really appreciate it in your workshop that you are really, you know, you're teaching a lot of the same things that I'm teaching, you know, that we have very similar, you know, paths, it feels like. And like, there wasn't one thing that you said in your workshop that I disagreed with or anything. I was like, this is great. She's teaching true yoga. So, you know, we're talking about the 8 limbs, and it's interesting to learn now, sitting with you and going deeper, that that was part of your journey, is like you were practicing yoga for the fitness. And these are some of the people that I hope to reach with this show, is that people that are at that place with yoga and going, okay, that's great. That's a good start. That's the gateway drug to higher consciousness.
True.
But once you dive a little bit deeper into yoga, there's a whole nother world. There's so much depth there that can really transform your life. And it's beautiful to witness your journey and see that that really happened for you. So I love the workshop. I'd like to talk a bit about the workshop that you did the other day. You did a different pranayama for each chakra.
Yes.
Which I thought was really powerful. I thought that was a really special approach. I haven't seen anyone do that before, and I like to educate people about the chakras and about pranayama, but the idea of associating a different pranayama technique for each chakra I thought was really unique. And maybe we could talk to the power of that.
Sure. Yes. I have learned pranayama mainly from my Indian teacher. And I've been lucky because I managed to spend with him 5 months in a row. When I first started to travel, the second time I traveled through India, I went back to that yoga ashram that inspired me and changed my life. And I connect so much with the guru, the teacher there, that he asked me to stay, to volunteer. So he was teaching in the morning, teaching in the afternoon for 5 months. And so that gave me the knowledge and practice to deepen and to share it with other people. So this workshop is called 7 Chakras Pranayamas plus Yoga Nidra. So you learn a pranayama per each chakra. The chakras are energy points, energetic points. We actually have more than 7, but 7 are the major ones.
Right.
And starting from the roots, from our grounding, from Muladhara chakra, up to Sahasrara. So with this workshop, we try to raise the Kundalini flow, which is stuck sometime in our roots and then goes up through the Muladhara chakra, then Svadhisthana, then Manipura, then the heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and then finally the crown of the head. So pranayama is a part of yoga.
Right, one of the limbs.
It is one of the limbs, yes.
The fourth, I think, right? The fourth limb.
It is the fourth, yeah. The first 2 is yama and niyama, then there is asana, which is the body posture, the yoga we tend to refer to more in the West.
Right.
And then the fourth is pranayama. So it's a bit even more advanced than asana. So asana is there to make your body strong, flexible, and in balance, to be able to hold the position, sitting position for longer, so that you can practice pranayama and then reaching more advanced stages like meditation and samadhi. So pranayama refers to the energy. The word prana in Sanskrit means energy, life force. It's the force that gives life and movement to the body. Yama means control, and ayama means expansion. So pranayama is a controlled expansion of our prana, of our energy, through the breath, through some breathing techniques. So sometimes it's actually explained as some just breathing techniques, but it's more than that. The breath is a tool to flow and redirect and expand that energy, which is the prana. And I put together this workshop based on the fact that every time my teacher was explaining me one pranayama, he was always referring to one of the chakras, but more than that, he was referring to some feelings, to some energy, to some connection that we have in life. Like, for instance, The throat chakra, it's about expression, it's about communication, it's about self-confidence, it's about being able to express yourself. And to balance that, we practice one of the pranayama, which is Ujjayi pranayama, which refers to we draw the energy from the roots up to the throat, and then release it with an exhalation. So you receive into the throat all the energy, and then give everything that does serve you anymore. So it's
it's like a clearing. This was the first time I've encountered this variation of Ujjayi. You know, I'm very familiar with Ujjayi, right, which we know as ocean breath, or sometimes people call it Darth Vader breath, right? But this was a very different take on it, and that's, you know, I appreciate when I can sit in a class and learn something that I don't know and expand my knowledge, you know, from other teachers. So I was really appreciating that one, that you had a different variation on that. So it's really interesting to learn. I think this is new to me, that there are different pranayamas that really support the individual chakras. So that's an expansion of knowledge for me. So I really thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
Anything we can do to get people to learn, any tools we can share to help people balance their chakras, their energy centers, I think is so beneficial to the individual and then thereby the world, right? Because as we become aligned and balanced, we're more in our own, activating our own potential, highest potential, so that we can do what we came here to do, right? Yeah. So how did you come to find which pranayama, you know, works in harmony best with each chakra?
This is a knowledge I received from my Indian teachers.
Fantastic.
Which is very old knowledge, but also it makes sense once you understand the meaning and the function of each chakra and the meaning and the function of each pranayama. I mean, even if you don't connect those things, even if you don't connect the pranayama to the chakra, when you practice the pranayama is still helping you to balance this chakra.
Whether you realize it or not.
Whether you realize it or not. Likewise, I think yoga. Yoga.
Whether you understand.
Whether you understand it or not, whether in the first place you do it for fitness or not, is still planting a seed in your soul, and you know, if you ready, that seed can grow.
Right.
So yoga is within us since we're born, and then it's, you know, through your life, then you can be aware of that or not.
And
cultivate
really
it. And cultivate it.
I love it. I just keep going back to your story because I think there's so many people that are in that position that are maybe stressed out in jobs they don't like, and maybe just, you know, going to yoga for stress management, you know, and for the fitness, and like, you know, and, you know, it's beautiful that you answered the call to go deeper with it. And I really want to encourage people to do that, because I personally see like transformations and, you know, people, you're a perfect example of this. But also, you know, just what it can do for the world. Yoga can heal your life, can heal your body, can heal your mind, your heart, your soul, and the world. Yeah. So powerful.
Yeah, totally. I hear you, and I like now, since I'm in this path, my intention for this life is to inspire and empower people to improve their life, to dance more, to stretch more, to see what their true desire is, and just go with that, go with the flow, follow what makes you feel happy and healthy. Because at the end of the day, the most happy we are, the more we allow people around us to be the same. And there is nothing more empowering, there's nothing more satisfactory than empowering people with this knowledge.
Right.
And I see that nowadays more and more people are awakening, more and more people are following their dreams. And I know it's hard in the beginning, I know it can be challenging, but please follow your heart. because this is your true nature.
The payoff is there. The payoff is there if you show up and follow that little, if that little seed that's been planted in you in yoga or through another means is, you know, it needs to be cultivated. It needs the water, it needs the sun, you know, which can be you showing up for the practice or answering the call of any sort of inspiration. Like, you know, I can just imagine how it happened for you that you ended up in India, and I imagine for people who may be stuck in stressful jobs that they don't love and don't feel like they're necessarily fully on their right path in life, just to be awake and aware enough to watch for the signs and then to really go in that direction. When something calls your energy and your attention, there's something there for you, and you know, it's probably worth your time to explore it.
Once you start follow what you love, then everything falls into place. Trust this, surrender to this. At the end of the day, if you have done a mistake, if that's the wrong path, you can always go back. You can always go back and keep doing again what you were doing before. This also would encourage me to go in a way. Then I never went back.
Right. And for the most part, I haven't really met anybody who ever regretted doing yoga, right? Like, said no one ever, like, I shouldn't have done yoga today, said no one ever, right? Like, so switching gears back to your workshop now, you did this beautiful presentation of a different pranayama technique for each chakra, which I think is just great. I would love to see you do like an online course of this so that people all over the world could have access to that. I think that would be...
Yeah, you're the second person who told me that.
Okay.
So I might follow this sign.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because it's knowledge that you're presenting in a really powerful way, I think, and there's a lot of people that could benefit from it. And because you do have this east-west, you know, approach, I think you can reach a lot of people. That scratching noise in the background is a chicken running by us, just FYI for the listeners. We're sitting right, by the way, in front of the ocean on this beautiful island in Thailand, on Nadia's porch and her little bungalow, and I'm just like, this beautiful life you've created. I'm trying to see you 4 years ago in your stressful job in London, and looking at you now, it's like your life has shifted. But going back to the workshop, I just really love how you presented the pranayama with the chakras. But then the second part of it was the yoga nidra, which honestly I wasn't very familiar with until I just spent time in India. And I was like, how do I not know yoga nidra? And I learned a bit about it there. And this is a really powerful yoga for people that I think is not very widely known. Can you explain for the listeners what yoga nidra is and how it's beneficial?
Sure, yes. Yoga nidra as pranayama also is part of yoga. It's a more modern yoga, if we want to call it like that, but it's always been there. So yoga nidra is a sleepless sleep. It's a psychic sleep. So you are on the verge of falling asleep, but you do not actually sleep. You reach down to your subconscious, and that's the power of stillness. So you lay down in shavasana on your back. Power of stillness and power of Shiva Shakti. So I'm going into that. The teacher guides you through different body awareness and body visualization. So the seed is there that I explain. I guide you to different body awareness of different part of the body. So the idea is that wherever the awareness goes, the energy follows. Awareness is Shiva, energy is Shakti. So by deeply being aware of your body, you deeply relax your body, giving relaxation and energy there. That will help you to reach a deep awareness stage, which we call it subconscious. And once you are there, you are deeply aware and relaxed, even more than when you go to sleep at night. And so your subconscious, your consciousness is more open and ready to listen. So once we are there on that stage, I give you positive statements and visualization. You set your intention, And so that will help you to manifest your intention into the reality. Because that's about that. It's about manifestation. We can create our own reality.
Right.
We can create our beautiful paradise if we really, with our conscious and subconscious, believe in that, and we visualize it. If we visualize it with our whole essence, so with all our senses and conscious, subconscious, then it can really manifest into reality. And I believe in that. It happened to me, and it happened to many people.
Yeah, you're a living example again. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really grateful that I can share this and empower people with this knowledge.
It's interesting, Yoga Nidra, as you explain it, it feels really similar to something we've been talking about on the show a bit, theta healing, right? It's kind of like a yogic theta healing, because theta healing is about going into the subconscious and reprogramming, right? So it's just like yogic theta healing, maybe it's similar technique, same goal, but coming from a yogic perspective. I find that pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it is similar. With Yoga Nidra, the way I approach it is, first of all, body awareness. So every part of the body, and then once you are aware of the whole body, you are in that subconscious, then it bring you the awareness, bring you to draw your awareness towards the breath. So this is also super powerful. It seems so simple and banal, but the breath, as my Indian teacher said, is your guru, is your teacher. So you don't need any teachers, you don't need any guru. Your teacher, your guru is your breath. Is that prana. And once you start following your teacher, once you start following your breath with the deep awareness, then magic and manifestation can happen.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. I always want to take any opportunity to remind people to breathe, right? To pay attention to their breath. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that.
There is nothing more present than the breath.
Yeah, to bring you into presence, right? Is to focus on the breath. I like that your breath is your guru.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah. And it's within you, and your awareness of it, like it is so self-empowering, right? When you start to connect these dots in your mind and your brain, and you know, you have a teacher that points it out to you, or you get to hear a conversation like this that connects the dots for you, and you go, oh, and then if you feel like, I'm just thinking for the listeners right now, if you feel any spark of inspiration listening to that, that's a cue for you from the universe to go in that direction. If you've never done pranayama, go seek out a class, or start on YouTube and find a video and learn more about it, but go in the direction of whatever is calling you forward. Yeah. Yoga is just such an incredible path. I love this conversation and empowering and inspiring people to the yogic path, because again, I just really feel like it's like the answer to every problem in the world is yoga. Any problem in your own body, your own life, your own mind, your own heart, and in the world at large, like yoga is the answer. Right? You agree?
Yes, totally. Yoga, union, realizing your true nature, your true self.
Yeah, I appreciate
feeling one with everything around you, and noticing the differences, but within you and around you, and just give you also peace of mind, and the concept that everything is just happening. That you should drop that doership. You should drop the control over things, because you just need to open your heart, really be happy, enjoy life, celebrate, dancing. Be conscious, and everything will just happen.
Yeah.
The thing is that there is no secret, there is no major realization. Everything is just there, and it's beautiful, and it's perfect the way it is. The challenges, the pleasant moment, the unpleasant moment. I was doing this Vipassana course, one of my first trip to India. And Vipassana is a 10 days meditation course, which
silent,
is silent retreat. It can be quite intense, and the concept beyond this is just to observe the law of nature. observe it without doing a thing. And I was struggling a lot in the beginning because, you know, our modern society tell us, okay, you have a problem, you have something, that do something about it. You have cough, you have fever, take a pill. You have that, just so take control over actions around you. You have pain, go to the doctor. Instead, Vipassana is the opposite. It's just, okay, you have pain in your back while you're sitting in meditation, just observe it, because anyway it will go. Everything arises and passes away, arises and passes away. So why attaching to that if we go? And I was struggling for the first 8 days.
Wow.
I was blaming my back, I was blaming my parents, I was blaming the teachers, I was blaming everything around me until I just sit there. I decided to sit there and do nothing about it. No judgment. Just watching this little pain in my back, because you sit for 10 hours in meditation a day, so it's normal to get some pain you have. So on the 8th day I said, okay, fine, I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna watch it. And finally I became an external, a detached witness of what was going on. So I was looking at this pain, and then suddenly after some time it went away. Then it came back. Then it went away. Then it came back. And so I was just observing this flow, this going and returning, this inhale and exhale, this giving and taking, which is everywhere, and it's just perfect the way it is.
So you got to the point where you became the observer, and you could separate yourself from it and witness it as something not necessarily that was part of you. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes. Close to that, yes, yes, that's what we aim for, yeah.
So having the distance between you and the pain, and
yeah,
recognizing.
and then of course you are experiencing the pain, you know, in your life. You do suffer, you can be sad, but then you reach a stage in which you don't attach too much to that, and you actually let your body be sad. Let your mind, let your body, your mind, your soul be sad sometime. It's okay, everything is okay. Then be happy, and
the key is to not judge it as good or bad, even.
Yes, no judgment, and no judgment towards yourself first, so that you do not judge others.
Right, which circles around to ahimsa, wouldn't you say?
Ahimsa, yeah, non-violence. Yeah,
starting towards yourself, right?
Yeah,
yeah. What is your take on ahimsa in relation to food? Does ahimsa play a part in your food choices?
For sure, yeah. Since few years, since I started my path, I am vegetarian. But it was quite a natural process. So I didn't push myself to become a vegetarian. It just happened. Since the very first trip to India, that was when I was staying in this ashram, all the food was vegetarian. So I came back to my life, and I don't know, my body was just not starving for meat or fish or for, you know, just animals. I was still eating it sometime, but then it just became natural not to. And then I started to look into it. I started watching documentary and get informed, and I realized, okay, that's totally normal. I mean, why was I eating fish or meat before? That's so, you know, that's so unnatural. Because society has conditioned you to do that. That's what I say. The thing, you know. Yeah. If you live in a society that since you're born tells you that the chicken is there to feed, to feed you, you know, to give you food, then you live thinking that that's their purpose. But then again, once you step out, once you witness yourself from outside again, you know, become detached witness of what's going on, then you start realizing what is good for you, what is not. And then pursue the former. Yeah, and getting into the energetic of it, like on the yogic path is, you know, and another point I wanted to make is that yoga I find to be a really powerful tool to help raise your vibration, right? So if we want to live in the higher realms and, you know,
happier and more joyful. Those are lighter emotions, obviously, than sadness or anger or grief, which can be more dense, right? So yoga as a path to raising your vibration. And I think it's a natural progression, as you said, that as you raise your vibration through yoga, somehow eating meat, which has a denser vibration, just kind of feels out of alignment and just naturally falls away.
Naturally falls away. So I would suggest you not to push yourself to become vegetarian, but just start to be aware of it. You know, when you're having your meal and there is some meat or fish there, just be totally aware. Just breathe into it, taste it, and see what vibration, what energy gives you. And now I have to push myself to eat meat. I mean, I don't like. You know, sometimes people that are not vegetarian ask you, but how can you handle that? Can you? Are you pushing yourself not to be vegetarian? Like to be vegetarian, is it hard for you? I say, well, no, it's the opposite. Now I just cannot eat meat or fish. It's just,
when your vibration shifts, it's just not in alignment anymore, and it just doesn't feel right to consume it.
And again, in there, everything just happens. So.
This is why I say yoga is the gateway drug to higher consciousness.
Yoga gives you the tools to awaken that doctor, that good guru, that teacher within you. So
perfectly said.
Then you don't need any external material things, you know, in order to...
Yeah, all the answers are within you, and yoga is the path to access.
Yeah, the 8 limbs are 8 tools. Right. To reach that yoga, that union, the wisdom within.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful to spend this time with you and drop in deeper and get to know you better, and you know, really up close witness your beautiful life that you've created here on this little, you know, sacred bay here on this beautiful island in Thailand. It's just like, it feels like a fantasy life, but it's your reality, and that's what you've created. And you're just a really good role model for people, I think, of, you know, how you can change your life and how yoga can be, you know, a path to really, you know, creating a better, happier, healthier life. So thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks so much for answering the call to be here today. I'm so glad you're part of our tribe of activated Rainbow Warriors. If you found the show in any way empowering or inspiring, I would be so grateful if you would share the show on social media or with friends and family that you think would benefit from these conversations. And also, rate and review the show in iTunes. This is really the very best way to help support the show and help us get noticed by others who are looking for the sort of content that we're sharing. Now, notice there are no outside ads playing here. That's because the show is supported by you, the listener. You can become a patron of the show with a small monthly donation by checking out the perks on our Patreon page at patreon.com/visionary lifestyle and signing up there. There's also a one-time donation button on the podcast page of the website if that suits you better. And just so you know, your donations help to cover the necessary out-of-pocket monthly expenses to produce the show, and will also help us grow so we can inspire and educate even more people. And hey, tribe, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me at visionary-lifestyle.com and please tell me your comments and questions. I really look forward to connecting with you. I love you. Namaste. Today's episode is brought to you by the Conscious Eating 101 e-course. This is a 6-week online course aimed at empowering you to make food choices that are in alignment with your values. The program is based on ahimsa, also known as non-harm, and helps you make every bite that you take an expression of love, self-love, animal love, and planet love. The course offers 15 lessons and 20 nutritious and delicious recipes and is offered over 6 weeks that you can do at your own pace. It includes lessons like plant-based nutrition, protein, dairy alternatives, the story on sugar, GMOs, label reading, and many more. If you're looking to increase your health and happiness, balance your weight, reduce your footprint on the planet, and align your food choices with your values, or are interested in being part of the solution to huge world problems like climate change, rainforest destruction, and world hunger, then this is the course for you. If this speaks to you, please check out consciouseating101.com today.